Hello, have you ever heard that you should put out milk for brownies? How about have you heard that you should put your bed on bricks so that the tokolosh does not carry you away? Or have you heard of the Haltepoi, the elf tree, in which lives the spirit of the elf to which you must make a sacrifice on special occasions? These are all stories of fairy tales from our world. They cover fairy tale creatures from Africa, Finland, and the Celtic mythology. But how do you use that sort of hidden world in fantasy world building? That is what I'd like to discuss today. The hidden magical world, how to build it, and how it's used in fantasy. Welcome to another episode of Just in Time Worlds. My name is Marie Mullaney. If you like this kind of fantasy world building content, please do subscribe. Okay, let's get cracking. The first hidden world that I want to discuss is Jim Butcher's Never Never. The Never Never exists in the Harry Dresden universe. First, let's set some context. The Harry Dresden files are set in an urban fantasy setting. Harry Dresden is a wizard in modern-day Chicago. The Never Never is a hidden world that you're introduced to quite early in the books, and it is a world that wizards can enter by tearing through our reality and opening a gate for themselves. It is also a realm that fairy creatures and mythological beasts can both move through and originate from. You later find out that there are many other creatures who live in the Never Never, not just fairy creatures. So there are pocket dimensions, for example, where the Greek gods live as creatures of the Never Never. And then, of course, there are the fairy courts of winter and summer with Queen Mab, who is not a very nice person, and Queen Titania, who is a very emotional person. And there's also the goblin court, who's ruled by the Earl King. There's also monsters of every description and fairy creatures of multiple different mythologies. You could meet anything in the Never Never, from a tokolosh from Africa to Baba Yaga's hut on chicken legs from Russia. Now you might ask, why would a wizard enter this realm? Well, there are two reasons. Firstly, the Never Never is the stuff of magic, and magic works better there. You can gain power, you can find magical items. You can bargain with creatures there for favor and magic. And the second reason is time and distance. In keeping with the Celtic feel of the Never Never, where there are always stories of people going into the realm of fairy and then 100 years pass, or they go into the realm of fairy and it feels like 100 years has passed, but instead no time has passed, the Never Never has this strange relationship with time. It also doesn't connect directly to our world, so it can compress distance as well. You could enter the Never Never in one spot, take 3 steps, dive into a stream, come up into a pool, and then when you step back into our world, you're 10,000 kilometers and a whole continent away. So there's plenty of good reason for characters to enter the Never Never, but there's plenty of bad things that happen to them in this world as well. On one notable example, Harry is attacked by spiders. He's faced hellish unicorn, ghostly spirits, and all kinds of other nasties in the Never Never. What a hidden world like this, which is a completely separate realm from the prime reality, gives you as the world builder, is the ability to have diversity and variety without affecting your prime reality. If you want a realm you can use to bring forth anything that you can imagine, it's worth building into your cosmology this kind of hidden world that allows you to have crazy things that happen here, but the prime world remains stable. The Dresden Never Never is also notable for the fact that only people who can use the spell can enter the world. So you're not going to have a situation normally of people just stumbling into the world. When characters go to the Never Never, they should be prepared for what they are about to face. Okay, so that's the Never Never from Jim Butcher, which is a actual separate entity from the prime reality, the baseline reality, which is our world. It's not the only way to do a hidden world, however. In Rick Riordan's novels, the main characters are children of the gods, of the old Greek gods. Again, let's set some context. Royarden's world is the world of Percy Jackson, who is the son of Poseidon and a mortal woman. There is a camp called Camp Half-Blood where the children of the Greek gods go to learn how to protect themselves. Royarden made the Greek myths real in his world. There are cyclopes, there are centaurs, the Greek gods themselves are real. However, this world is hidden from mortal sight by the mist, so when a human looks at a cyclops, they see just a normal but ugly person. Their minds works with the mist to protect themselves from this layer of reality. This approach, where the hidden world is a layer of reality, allows you to get your characters into a world of trouble, because they are interacting with a hidden world, but mortal authorities don't see this world. Maybe the characters are trying to kill a monster, and in the process they burn down the school gym. The authorities don't see the monster, they only see a bunch of troubled teens destroying school property. Of course, what you can also do is have some specific mortals who can see into this hidden world, and how they interact with that hidden world is then equally fascinating in context of the story. Maybe these people are some kind of guide for the characters, or maybe they're a prophet of the gods. Speaking of mortals, you do have to be a little careful with these worlds and technology. If you mix hidden worlds and technology, you can end up in a situation where people are calling home like E.T., and this can very neatly subvert your plot, especially the instantaneous communication of modern-day mobile phones. Royarden prevents this by making monsters attracted to demigods using modern technology. In Harry Dresden, magic and technology don't mix, so a mobile phone would never work in the Never Never. If your prime reality is our world with all of its modern technology, give some thought to how you handle that technology and its interface with the hidden world. The last iconic hidden world that I want to discuss is that of Alice in Wonderland. The iconic part of Alice in Wonderland as a hidden world is that you have to enter the hidden world in a specific place. So unlike the Harry Dresden verse where you can enter the hidden world from anywhere if you know the proper spell, in Alice in Wonderland you have to fall down a specific place or go through a specific looking glass. The world of Narnia is also constructed like this. You have to go through a specific cupboard or go through a specific painting. These hidden worlds are different from the Harry Dresden verse where the wizard can just enter them, in that anybody can enter the hidden world, but you have to do it in a specific place. There are gateways. What this kind of hidden world, this hidden world that anybody can stumble into, allows you to do is to tell fish out of water stories. The characters fall into this world and they may or may not be prepared for it. Consider Alice. She is in no way prepared for the world she tumbles into. The Cheshire Cat, the Queen of Hearts, all the craziness down there, she doesn't know how to handle it, and that is the attraction of the story. Or for another example of this kind of world, consider the Pevensie kids from the Narnia story. They are children who are caught up in this epic adventure due to the world that they enter through the wardrobe. They are not your typical hero style of characters. They are not wizards who are ready for what they're going to face in the Never Never. They are not demigods who live with this layered reality of their world on a daily basis. They are just plain old folks caught up in an epic adventure in a world they don't understand, the rules of which they learn as they go. That can make a great basis for a role-playing campaign or a great story if well told in a novel. So those are the three kinds of hidden worlds that I commonly see. The hidden world available to people who can open a path to it, a la the Never Never. The hidden world that you fall into a specific place, like Alice in Wonderland. Or the hidden world that is layered reality with our own and prevents mortals from seeing that reality. If you're constructing such a hidden magical world, things to consider is Can anyone enter it, or is it specific people who know a spell, as per the Harry Dresden universe? Is it so that anybody can enter it if they find the right entrance, a la the rabbit hole that Alice falls down into? What happens to technology when it encounters that world? Is there something that protects that world from mortals like the Mist does for Rick Riordan's characters? And if there is something that protects mortals from seeing into this hidden world, are there some mortals who can see through that mist and perceive reality as it truly is? And what role do these mortals play in that hidden world? And lastly, remember that hidden world should be truly fantastical. Up should be down, left should be right, unicorn should prance, demons should stomp. It should be a fantastical place. Remember, this is not a world with a little bit of fantasy strewn into it. It's not your prime reality. This is the place of fantasy. So when you're building such a secondary world, layer it on. The more fantastical, the better. And that was my take on building hidden magical worlds in fantasy. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Just in Time Worlds, and I will see you soon for another one. Please do hit the like button if you enjoyed this episode.